Hi guys, welcome to another audio video, and I'll be reading number 16 of the King James Version Bible, and it reads, Now Korah, the son of Izhar, the son of Kohath, the son of Levi, and Dathan, and Abiram, and the sons of Eliab, and On, the son of Peleth, sons of Reuben, took men. And they rose up before Moses, and certain of the children of Israel, 250 princes of the assembly, famous in the congregation, men of renown. And they gathered themselves together against Moses and against Aaron, and said unto them, Ye take too much upon you, seeing all the congregation are holy, every one of them. And the Lord is among them, wherefore then lift ye up yourselves above the congregation of the Lord. And when Moses heard it, he fell upon his face, and he spake unto Korah and unto all his company, saying, Even tomorrow the Lord will shew who is, and who is holy, and will cause him to come near unto him, even him whom he hath chosen will he cause to come near unto him. This do, take your censers, Korah and all his company, and put fire therein, and put incense in them before the Lord tomorrow. And it shall be the man whom the Lord doth choose, he shall be holy. Ye take too much upon you, ye sons of Levi. And Moses said unto Korah, Hear, I pray you, ye sons of Levi, seemeth it but a small thing unto you that the Lord of Israel hath separated you from the congregation of Israel, to bring you near to him, to do the service of the tabernacle of the Lord, and to stand before the congregation to minister unto them? And he hath brought thee near to him, and all thy brethren, the sons of Levi, with thee, and seek ye the priesthood also. For which cause both thou and all thy company are gathered together against the Lord. What is Aaron, that ye murmur against him? And Moses sent to call Dathan and Abiram. I don't know why I keep saying Abiram, the sons of Eliab, which said, We will not come. Is it a small thing that thou hast brought us up out of the land that floweth with milk and honey, to kill us in the wilderness, except thou make thyself altogether a prince over us? Moreover, thou hast not brought us into a land that floweth with milk and honey, or given us inheritance of fields and vineyards. Wilt thou put out the eyes of these men? We will not come up. And Moses was very wroth, and said unto the Lord, Respect not thou their offering. I have not taken one ass from them, neither have I hurt one of them. And Moses said unto Korah, Be thou and all thy company before the Lord, thou and they and Aaron, tomorrow, and take every man his censer, and put incense in them, and bring ye before the Lord every man his censer, 250 censers, thou also and Aaron, each of you his censer. And they took every man his censer, and put fire in it, and laid incense thereon, and stood in the door of the tabernacle of the congregation with Moses and Aaron. And Korah gathered all the congregation against them unto the door of the tabernacle of the congregation, and the glory of the Lord appeared unto all the congregation. And the Lord spake unto Moses and Aaron, saying, Separate yourselves from among this congregation, that I may consume them in a moment. And they fell upon their faces and said, O God, the God of the spirits of all flesh, shall one man sin? And wilt thou be wroth with all the congregation? And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the congregation, saying, Get you up from about the tabernacle of Korah, Dathan, and Abiram. And Moses rose up and went unto Dathan and Abiram, and the elders of Israel followed him. And he spake unto the congregation, saying, Depart, I pray you, from the tents of these wicked men, and touch nothing of theirs, lest ye be consumed in all their sins. So they got up from the tabernacle of Korah, Dathan, and Abiram on every side, and Dathan and Abiram came out and stood in the door of their tents, and their wives, and their sons, and their children, and their little children. And Moses said, Hereby ye shall know that the Lord hath sent me to do all these works, for I have not done them of mine own mind. If these men die the common death of all men, or if they be visited after the visitation of all men, then the Lord hath not sent me. But if the Lord make a new thing, and the earth upon her mouth, and swallow them up with all that appertain unto them, and they go down quick into the pit, then ye shall understand that these men have provoked the Lord. And it came to pass, as he had made an end of speaking all these words, that the ground clave asunder that was under them, and the earth opened her mouth, and swallowed them up, and their houses, and all the men that appertained unto Korah, and all their goods. They and all that appertained to them went down alive into the pit, and the earth closed upon them, and they perished from among the congregation. And all Israel that were round about them fled at the cry of them, for they said, Lest the earth swallow us up also. And there came out a fire from the Lord, and consumed the 250 men that offered incense. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto Eleazar the son of Aaron the priest, that he take up the censers out of the burning, and scatter thou the fire yonder, for they are hallowed. The censers and these sinners against their own souls, let them make them broad plates for a covering of the altar, for they offer them before the Lord, therefore they are hallowed, and they shall be a sign unto the children of Israel. And Eleazar the priest took the brasen censers wherewith they that were burnt had offered, and they were made broad plates for a covering of the altar, to be a memorial unto the children of Israel, that no stranger which is not of the seed of Aaron come near to offer incense before the Lord, that he be not as Korah and his company. And the Lord said to him by the hand of Moses. But on the morrow all the congregation of the children of Israel murmured against Moses and against Aaron, saying, Ye have killed the people of the Lord. And it came to pass, when the congregation was gathered against Moses and against Aaron, and they looked toward the tabernacle of the congregation, and behold, a cloud covered it, and the glory of the Lord appeared. And Moses and Aaron came before the tabernacle of the congregation. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Get you up from among the congregation, that I may consume them as in a moment. And they fell upon their faces. And Moses said unto Aaron, Take a censer, and put fire therein from off the altar, and put on incense, and go quickly unto the congregation, and make an atonement for them. For there is wrath gone out from the Lord, the plague is begun. And Aaron took as Moses commanded, and ran into the midst of the congregation, and behold, the plague was begun among the people. And he put on incense, and made an atonement for the people. And he stood between the dead and the living, and the plague was stayed. Now they that died in the plague were 14,700, beside them that died about the matter of Korah. And Aaron returned unto Moses unto the door of the tabernacle of the congregation, and the plague was stayed. Alright guys, so here we are in chapter 16, and what happened is that the children of Israel are speaking against Moses and Aaron. So they start to think themselves great, the Levites of course. As we remember, the Levites were actually offered up unto God to to stand in the place of the firstling of each family. And they were supposed to serve Aaron and his children. So they were tending after the tabernacle, but during that, I think they found themselves more than they ought to, and they did not realize the position that God had put them in. And so they wanted to exalt themselves and wanted to be as Aaron and Moses and offer sacrifices unto God. But they aren't holy, and God did not command it to be that way. It was God's commandment that only Aaron and his sons and Moses would be able to do such. And so, and it did not say Moses, but we assume Moses because God spoke to Moses directly, and Moses has been the one that has been passing down all of these commandments and all of these rules from God to Aaron and to the children of Israel. So it is not said straightforward, it's not very explicit here that that's what happens, but it's obvious that that's what happens, right? And Moses doesn't need to do all of that to hear from God anyways, because God always speaks with him, because God sees him as a friend. And so we see that the people are speaking against them. And how can you be speaking against the man of God? I mean, many a times they've tried this and they've seen the outcome, but I think because they're so close to the priest, they believe the Levites, because they're the ones that are really close to the priest, because they're the ones that would clean the priest's quarters, would clean the utensils used and all those things. They're the ones that would actually do that, but they do not offer sacrifices, they do not offer offerings on the altar before God. So that's it. They do not perform that. That is something explicitly and for Aaron and his sons Eleazar and Ithamar. And they wanted to do that, and they're saying, oh, why should we think that you're above us and God only uses you and God only speaks to you? It's like I was saying in a previous video, I think it was chapter 14, and they were asking, how is it that they think that they're the only ones that God's speaking and God is using? And that's not how it is. God chooses whom he wants to speak to. God chooses whom he wants to use. It's not for us to dictate or to question if God should use us or not, or whether we're worthy to be used by God or not. It is all God's doing. So if God does not call us to do such work, then we ought not to try to exceed ourselves above what we are. If he says you're a prophetess, you're a prophetess. If he says you're a prophetess and a preacher, you're a prophetess and a preacher, because a preacher can be a prophetess as well. And I learned that from my pastors. Sorry. But yeah, you can be a preacher and a prophetess. If he says that you're a healer, just a healer, then you're just a healer. If he says that you're a praise and worship leader, just a praise and worship leader, you're just a praise and worship leader. If he says that you're a deacon, for now, that's how it is. If he elevates you to the level of a pastor, so be it. Stay in your own lane. Do not try to exceed yourself above the will of God. Okay? You are who God says you are. And so when you see a manservant of God and they're doing God's work, don't ask, why is it that you think you're the only one that God is speaking to and all these things. That's not for us. That's for God. And God knows the reason why he uses his servants to carry out his word, why he handpicks the servants that he uses. And I mean, there are many churches around the world and there are many pastors and preachers around the world, but God does not use all of them because they're not anointed by God. You have to be anointed by God, and that's where people go wrong. They do not understand that it's the anointing of God, not the anointing of man, but the anointing of God that rests upon your life, that it dictates what you actually do and what your role is, and you ought to stick to that. In the natural world, you can try to go to whatever level you want to go to, but where it comes to the spiritual world, we should aspire to reach certain levels. However, God will choose whom He wants for whatever task He wants. Ask Him to choose you for the task, but don't try to inflict and impose. Don't try to impose yourself on the servants of God. Let me not say men of God. The servants of God that He has anointed and appointed to office. That's not for you. That's for God. Don't question them and say, God, why do you think that God only wants to use you or whatever? That's not for you. That is not of God. I'm sorry. That is not of God. God appoints and anoints. Okay? We only ask that He chooses us, to use us as His vessels, to appoint us and to anoint us for a certain service. However, it's not our prerogative that it's not His prerogative that He should say, okay, He's gonna, answer your plea. I mean, it's His prerogative if He's gonna or not. It's not ours. So we don't dictate to God what He does. He dictates to us what is. And that's how it ought to be. So whenever He puts somebody in a position of power, He appoints and anoints. We only follow and allow ourselves to be used and led by Him. Alright, guys. So that is my few words. Guys, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification so you're alerted whenever a new video is posted. And guys, don't forget to share your revelations down below in the comment sections, your thoughts, and any questions you may have. And remember, you can always hit me up on Instagram. Okay, guys, have yourselves a blessed day. Bye.